All right, 8th graders, in our quest yesterday with function notation, I forgot to show you a few buttons on the calculator. The first one was to review square root. So if I'm looking for the square root of 25, in my calculator, I'm going to hit second, and then above the x squared button here is the square root in yellow, so second, and then the square root, so I can find the square root of 25. Close that parenthesis and hit enter, and I get 5 for my answer. If I am looking for the square root of 47, second square root of 47, close that parenthesis, and I get a decimal, and then I can look at if I need to round it or leave it in exact form. The new one is what's called the cubic root. So if I am cubing a number, for example, 3 cubed or 3 to the third power, that means 3 times 3 times 3. So if I want to do 3 to the third power in my calculator, I'm going to clear this out, 3, and then you use the caret button. So we have a squared button. If I wanted to square 3, I would hit x squared. But above it, caret, raise that to the third power, and I get 27, because 3 times 3 times 3 would be 27. So if I know 3 times 3 to the third power is 27, if I want the cubic root, so you'll notice that's a little different than squaring. When we squared it, it was just a square root, what times itself. Cubic root means what times itself 3 times gives me this number. So I already know the cubic root of 27 is 3. We just did it up here. We're just reversing it. So if I want to go the opposite way, what did I multiply by itself 3 times to get 27? Well, I know my answer is 3. But on the calculator, once I clear this out, I'm going to hit 3 first. I'm going to do the cubic root. If I go back to the x squared button, above it was the square root, the caret button, the other exponents. In yellow, it says x, the square root, the xth root of a number. So if I put the 3 in first, I want the cubic root, and then I hit second, the caret button, right? The 3 is going in x's place, the cubic root of 27, and then hit enter, and I get 3. So if I want the cubic root of 64, the cubic root of 64, what times itself 3 times will give me 64? It would be 4. Play around with that for a little bit. Make sure you understand those buttons, and if you do the same sequence, you get the same answers, and then you're ready to go into lesson 2 on square roots and cubic roots. Thank you.